Hello, welcome to Story Time. My name is Lee and I am one of the librarians here at the community library in the children's department, and I'm so glad that you're tuning in today for Story Time. We are getting closer to having in-person story time, and I am so looking forward to that. So right now I am in the treehouse, which is our cool room with all the windows around it. And this is where I normally do story time, but what we're doing this summer is we're going to have outside story time, and I will be reading books, and then you and your grown-ups will have books on your lap to see the pictures nice and close, which is super cool. There will be more information about that on our website. I look forward to seeing you there. I hope you can make it. So welcome to Story Time. This week I am going to read books by Eric Carle, and he wrote, I'm going to stand up, do you see my shirt? He wrote The Very Hungry Caterpillar, one of my all-time favorite books. I really do love that book, and that book was published when I was really little, and so I remember that book being read to me when I was a little girl, and then I read it to my nieces and nephews, and I read it to my own kids, and now I'm reading it to you, and it's such a great book because it has lasted, and it's just still such an awesome book after all these years. It's like 52 years old, that book, which is really kind of neat. So I'm going to read that book today. And we're reading Eric Carle to celebrate his life because he just passed away, which means that he died. And he was 91 years old, and he just really, he did so much. He published so many books, illustrated so many books, and just really had brought a lot of joy to people with his amazing art that he did. So I thought that we would celebrate him today by reading several of his books. So let's get started. And I'm going to, what am I going to read first? I think I'm going to read The Hungry Caterpillar first. So one of the things that I wanted to say about Mr. Carle is the type of art that he did is called collage. And collage is when you cut out shapes and then you glue them down to make a picture. So his pictures are often collage, where he'd cut out a shape. And what was really neat is he also made the paper that he would cut out. A lot of times he used tissue paper and he would color it and paint it to get the colors and things that he wanted. And I've been watching some videos of him, which has been really neat, and there are a lot on YouTube. And he had this amazing studio, and he had drawers and drawers and drawers with different colors of paper that he had made, and he'd go and find the color he'd want, and then he'd cut it out and make his pictures. And they were I just feel like his art is very joyful, and that has always made me super happy. So that's why we're going to celebrate him today. He also illustrated for some other people, like this book, which you might be familiar with, and there's a couple others. This is Brown Bear, What Do You See? Bill Martin is the person who wrote this book, but Eric Carle did the illustrations. So he did illustrations for a lot of other people who wrote books, but then he had a number of books that he wrote himself. Most famous among them is The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And yeah, let's just read it. This is just a great book, in my opinion. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. See that little egg? One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of food. So do you see the holes here? That was something new that Mr. Carle invented too. Most of his books, a lot of his books have kind of like tactile, which means things that you can feel. It isn't just the beautiful colors. Like I can look through this, I can see you through that hole. All right, so he ate those oranges on Friday. Let's see what he eats on Saturday. Oh my gosh. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. That night, he had a stomach ache. You knew that, didn't he? Poor thing. Look at his face. He's like, bleh. I feel terrible. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that, he felt much better. Now, he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big, fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a chrysalis around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks, and he nibbled a hole in the chrysalis, pushed his way out, and what happened? He was a beautiful butterfly. The end. So I do a little change in that book, and you might have noticed. Mr. Carle wrote that he creates a cocoon, but it's really a chrysalis. That's what caterpillars make around themselves before they turn into butterflies. So I always change it to chrysalis, just so you guys know the right word for that. And I don't think Mr. Carle would mind. So, all right, the next book that I would like to read, another one of my favorites, is The Very Busy Spider. And I like this book because in this book, he didn't put holes in the page, but if you have this book or take it out from the library, you can feel, see this thread? That's the thread from the spider, and you can feel it. It's raised a little bit. All right, here we go. Early one morning, the wind blew a spider across the field. A thin, silky thread trailed from her body. The spider landed on a fence post near a farmyard and began to spin a web with her silky thread. "Nay, nay," said the horse. "Want to go for a ride?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Moo, moo," said the cow. "Want to eat some grass?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. Are you noticing how her web is getting bigger? Can you see that? Yeah, she's putting more silk to do her web. "Baa, baa," bleated the sheep. "Want to run in the meadow?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Me, me," said the goat. "Want to jump on the rocks?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Oink, oink," grunted the pig. "Want to roll in the mud?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Woof, woof," barked the dog. "Want to chase a cat?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Meow, meow," cried the cat. "Want to take a nap?" The spider didn't answer. She was very busy spinning her web. "Quack, quack," called the duck. "Want to go for a swim?" The spider didn't answer. She had now finished her web. See her beautiful spider web? Look at that. "Cock-a-doodle-doo," crowed the rooster. "Want to catch a pesky fly?" Look right there. And the spider caught the fly in her web just like that. Look at that fly right in the web. "Who?" asked the owl. "Who built this beautiful web?" The spider didn't answer. She had fallen asleep. It had been a very, very busy day. Look at her sleeping up in the corner. The end. It's kind of neat how spiders do their webs, and that's how they catch their food, because they're sticky and the bugs get in there and they get stuck. Okay, so this next book I'm going to read is going to be interesting because it's got a lot of things to open up, and I'm hoping I can fit them and you can see them. And this is called Papa, Please Get the Moon for Me. I like all the stars right in there. Look at that. All right. Before Monica went to bed, she looked out of her window and saw the moon. The moon looked so near. I wish I could play with the moon, thought Monica, and reached for it. Sometimes the moon does look like it's close by. Did you see the moon? We just had a full moon and it was amazing. It looked like it was very close to the earth, but it's very far away. But no matter how much she stretched, she could not touch the moon. Papa, said Monica to her father, please get the moon for me. Okay, here we go. Ready for this? This is kind of funny. Papa got a very, very long ladder. Do you see that ladder? I'm going to bring it up close. Do you think that they'll be able to reach the moon? He carried that very long ladder towards a very high mountain. Then, Papa put the very long ladder on top of the very high mountain. Ooh. There we go. Look at that. Holy cow, do you think they'll be able to reach the moon? Up and up and up he climbed. This is my favorite page. You ready for this? Look at this. Oh my gosh, it like folds out into this big picture. Oh my gosh, look at that. Finally, Papa got to the moon. My daughter Monica would like to play with you, said Papa, but you are much too big. Every night I get a little smaller, said the moon. When I am just the right size, you can take me with you. Holy smokes, look at that. And ready? This is gonna fold back up. See if I can get it to, there we go. And this is the cool thing that Mr. Carle did. It's like he folded it into the book. Okay, so let's see, is this the right page? There we go. And indeed, the moon got smaller and smaller and smaller. When the moon was just the right size, Papa took it down and down and down he climbed. Do you see him coming down with the crescent moon? He's got it right there in his hand. Here, said Papa to Monica, I have the moon for you. Monica jumped and danced with the moon. She hugged the moon and threw it into the air. But the moon kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and finally it disappeared altogether. Then one night, Monica saw a thin sliver of the moon reappear, and I believe that's called a new moon. So there it is, it's back. Each night, the moon grew. And grew. And grew. There it is. The end. That's so special that her dad got her the moon. Do you think that that's possible, or is that a made-up story? It's kind of fun to think about getting the moon, though. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Storytime this week. we have a lot of Eric Carle books, and I've got them pulled and on display for you. So please come in and take some home and feel the joy that is Eric Carle, because he is extraordinary. And I have some craft kits. I know we've done this before, but we're doing it again. So you can make your own hungry caterpillar. And this week, I made a bunch of paper at home, and then I cut it into shapes for you. And then you can glue them on and make your own hungry caterpillar. So come on in and pick those up, and come on in and say hello to us. We always love to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will see you soon or next week. Thank you so much.